Great. Now he's happy, ready and away. And, the favourites missed it by 5 lengths. Fleetwood's missed it badly.
What you just saw there was punters doing their money on Fleetwood Caulfield Race 8, heavily backed favourite. And the unfortunate case is the punters lost their money, whoever invested on this horse, small or large, even though the horse was deemed an unfair start. So even though you were unfairly treated, you still lost your money. The reason why that is, there's a rule in place. If a horse runs first or fourth, it has to be deemed a runner, even though it may have been given an unfair start. So look, there's good reason for this rule. Even if this barrier didn't open for the next 30 seconds and he came out and he ran, in this case he ran third, he'd still be declared a runner. But like I said, there is good reason for this rule. Let's have a look at the vision firstly as we deep dive into that. This is the favourite here, Fleetwood, drawn in barrier 1. Probably, if anything, he wanted a very fast start to take advantage of that barrier and to probably get into the better lanes. He got caught up on the rail he'd be dictated to. Let's have a look at him here. You can see the barrier tended behind the post there. Horse will start moving, and as it moves, the barrier takes a hold of it, and the starter, unfortunately, lets them go. Here we are here. Yeah, you see that? Moves, barrier, tendon, grabs it. Look at the start he gets, 5 lengths behind. 1,000-metre race we're talking about. They have much advantage. You can see him there. See that you can see he's got his hand there. See the barrier attendant sort of flick his hand out. Look, he flicks his hand out like, oh shit. Probably not to get hurt as well. That's the thing. Damien Lane couldn't have pushed while the barrier attendant's arm was across him there. And that's how the start eventuated. And Fleetwood was definitely given an unfair start. No one's denying that. But declared a runner, as we just said, due to finishing between first or fourth position. So again, why do we have this rule? Well, it does make a lot of sense for the participants. Let's just say that race was a Cox Plate or a Melbourne Cup or any group or listed race for that matter. Let's say it was a Melbourne Cup and the horse ran third. It's given an unfair to start, so declared a non-runner. Now, I'm sure the owners, the breeders, and everyone connected with that horse would want it to be declared a runner and be on the honour roll of a third place getter of the Melbourne Cup and collect the prize money. In the Melbourne Cup, they pay up to 10th position. I think it's 100,000 for 10th. So even if you ran 10th in the Melbourne Cup, you're giving an unfair start, you'd still want to be declared a runner. Why should the owners, trainer, all those connections be penalised even though the horse performed well and earned really good money? Imagine breeders, fillies and mares especially. It might have been the only time they were group or listed place. That puts a lot of extra value on that horse for running a place. So the rule does make good sense for the participants. But I think this is what the racing industry try to do. They try to make a blanket rule to try to cover everything. And there's many parts and wheels in the racing industry that make it tick. And the participants, the breeders, the owners, the trainers, the jockeys all play a huge part. But we also know in this great sport, the punters play a huge part. They love to invest in this sport and they want to be given a fair go. So why can't a horse be deemed a runner for prize money and breeding and group status and all that, but be declared a non-runner for the investment of the punters? In this case, the horse ran third, so really trifectas and first falls. And if the horse ran third and people have got it as their bankers or to run third favourite with the field or whatever they do. They get paid out, but people putting win bets, they're declared a non-runner. I don't really think it's that hard or technical. And even if it is, we need to keep the investment going in this sport, and with that is confidence. Look, I didn't have a bet in Caulfield. I really liked Fleetwood. A lot of good judges were behind Fleetwood, and rightly so. And a lot of people follow these good judges, smaller punters. So this was a very confidently backed runner. And why I didn't bet in Caulfield, there was meant to be high winds, rain. The winds did die down. I was concerned by all these things. But let's say I beat all those factors and think that, you know, the risk is low and at $2.30, this is a really good investment. And what should have been declared a non-runner is declared a runner, and I did my money that way. We really need to look after our clients, our participants. I agree, this rule is really good to protect owners and breeders. If a horse is declared... Look, Mick Sharkey was on RSN, he talked a lot of sense, but then he said, well, there should be... If it's declared a non-runner, it's declared a non-runner. But there's a lot more to it than Mick Sharkey is into his breeding. I'm sure if his horse was declared a non-runner, he had a filly or mare or colt that was placed in a group race, he wouldn't be saying that that's a good way to handle things. And I think if he had another think about it, his solution was probably not the right solution, even though he was talking a lot of sense before that. So yeah, there's separate entities in this industry, and sometimes we need a separate rule for both sides of the fence of the investment. Again, I don't really understand all the bodies and how it works and how hard all that part is. I've been an owner, I've got friends that are breeders, and I'm a punter, so I do have an understanding of, you know, what would be fair for each and all, but how the racing industry works and the policies, and I understand stewards, puntings and racing, that's it. But definitely there shouldn't be a blanket rule for this. There should be a rule that protects all participants. Created a lot of conjecture and media, and what I would hope out of this is this doesn't happen often, where a horse, this is how Fleetwood definitely should have won the race. The fact he missed the start and ran third, this doesn't happen often, and it won't probably happen again for a while. What we don't want is this to happen again. Imagine if it's in a big race, even big investments, and punters get robbed again. We want, you know, to take action off the back of that, not sweep it under the carpet, and then it only happen a year or 2 years later and we're talking about it again, because we could easily sweep it under the carpet because it probably won't happen again for a while. But it has happened, and it's brought up, this rule, and the sense, I didn't even understand all of it. So I didn't understand this rule being in place, and that now I do understand it. I understand why, the good reason behind that rule. I believe there was good reason for this rule, but I can also see there needs to be a modification there to protect punters. Okay, all the best everybody, and we'll put something out for Saturday racing. Again, I don't know what it is, but we'll put something out for you and keep us going. See, even in winter racing, it can be exciting and a lot to talk about, as you've seen with Fleetwood. This is a great sport that, you know, to me, doesn't die in July, August. It's all year round exciting. So all the best, guys, and talk soon. Thanks.